All right, welcome back for the spring series, and we're in our barn right now. And again, I have Lynn, who is so incredible, who's joining me to show us how to make a wonderful wreath. You can make this wreath for Easter, you can make it for Mother's Day, you can just have it for any fun spring event that you're throwing. I haven't made a wreath like this before, and she is going to show us. First of all, this is totally different than anything I've ever seen.
This was something I picked up at the floral shop, and it already had the green oasis attached to it, which is wonderful for making a wreath. And then I tied this because we're going to hang it on a door, and then we will anchor it with one of the pink bows after we get everything put together.
Okay, and you know it was fun because you've got to get the oasis wet.
And it rained storms last night.
It stormed last night.
So we stuck it out in the rain.
So I had Anders, my 16-year-old, put this outside in the rain. So it got a lot of...
It's nice and soaking wet.
It's nice and soaking wet. All right, now we started out at Trader Joe's. I'm just going to tell everyone where we went because she wanted to get an entire assortment of white flowers. Yes. And I think that, you know, signified Mother's Day, Easter, all that kind of stuff. What do we start doing?
So we got the hydrangeas after we prepped them yesterday, and I soaked them in water, and then I cut them, and I cut the stems so that they would be pretty and fresh for today. Now what we're doing is we're taking our hydrangeas. The blooms are so large that I'm going to cut some of them down. So we just took them apart, and we're going to start jabbing them into the oasis.
Jabbing them in.
And then when you're jabbing both sides so we can get a good feeling.
I'll start cutting and I'll hand them to you.
Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start mixing it. I have roses, little
oh yeah, white roses.
White roses. I need the clippers, please.
Right there. Mm-hmm. When did you learn how to do this?
So I have a friend who makes beautiful wreaths, and she had done it for Mother's Day for her family, and I just loved watching her. All right, let me put a little bit of greenery.
Okay, do you want that cut?
Yes, please.
And I think you just got this out of our yard.
I did. I just started cutting out of her yard.
Literally, you would be surprised what you can find in your yard.
So, like I said, we're just going to keep kind of mowing with the hydrangeas around. I want Ruth to start on that side.
Okay.
And if you cut them short enough, you might be able to just jab. Yeah. Can you
jab
I'm doing. In there?
Yeah.
Jab them in there.
And you could tailor this to any time of year.
And you can do it in any colors. I mean, let's face it, the wreaths are pretty with spring flowers. Somebody said, you know, they put tulips and peonies in theirs. And
wow.
Then I love a touch of greenery in there. Just to give it a soft look.
How long would this last when it's finished?
This should last at least, you know, I would say a week or two.
Oh, wow.
If it stays moist. I would spritz this.
Okay.
Like in a couple of weeks, a couple of days, I would go ahead and put a spritzer on it and moisturize it so it feels really fresh again. Okay, that's not short enough. You just kind of work your way around it and cut it short.
And when you work with a friend, it goes quick.
It does. This is a pretty big wreath, so it may take more than we bargained for, but we'll keep trying. I love going and seeing wreaths or pretty things on doors at Easter, or a cross that made out of greenery, or just adding something special to your door. It seems to welcome people.
Actually, it would even be fun to give as a gift.
Kind of have to remove the leaves from this one.
Are you in a garden club?
I am not, but I do play with flowers a lot. You know, I took a class in New York under Calvin Clark, and he said the way to learn how to play with flowers is to just go and do it.
Just go play.
Just go by. So we laugh at my house. I go to Trader Joe's or the Harris Teeter and come home with flowers.
I mean, I say Trader Joe's all the time, but very few places have that variety at those prices.
You're right.
So you can kind of make your mess. And
our Harris Teeter does, and it's really nice to go in there because they have a few extra things. And of course, if you have a wholesale account, you can go to the wholesale floors and buy beautiful things like ranunculus. And
ranunculus are one of my favorites.
Oh, gorgeous. And so it just kind of...
The other nice thing about Trader Joe's is when you go and you buy a bunch of flowers, they'll give you buckets to take home. So they just handed us these buckets, it's just nice to have that.
And if they die, you can take them back and they'll replenish them.
No way.
Yeah, I took a whole I took about a handful of hydrangeas that had died, and he said, go and replace them. So I did.
Wow, that's
Now-
really good to know.
They're very nice about it.
This is going quicker than I
It's
thought.
going quicker. Well, and we've got to probably cover around the sides once we do the top.
Yeah.
We need to go back and make sure the sides are covered. And like I said, in like a couple of days, I would spritz it.
Spritz it with like a
Just
water bottle of water.
bottle, yep. So that it will stay fresh. And make sure we push them down so they aren't going to fall out either. I love adding the white and the green. I think the green adds a nice little touch to it.
Okay, should I add more of this stuff? And you don't have to be perfect,
No, by any means. That's the
which is
nice
why I
thing,
like
just
it. I can stick
exactly. We can
it
just,
however I want. And that green stuff is very forgiving. Like, I'm serious, you should get your daughters, pull out a bucket and say, let's make some wreaths and give them out to our neighbors.
or hang them on your door yourself.
Hang it on my door myself. And again, this is kind of a large wreath.
This is a very large wreath. This is, I think, a 36-inch wreath, which is large.
Which is large.
Yeah. All right. I probably need some,
What do you need?
a little bit of greenery, please.
Green?
Perfect.
Have you always enjoyed things like this?
I have, and my mom did stuff like this. She would go and pick stuff out of the yard because we didn't have a lot, resources or a lot of money, and so my mom would go and do flower arrangements for the church guild, and then she would come home and play with it at our house.
I don't
So-
remember my mom ever touching anything in the garden.
Oh, my mom was great. My mom, she was a home ec major and just loved the home, and so that
Oh.
was her passion.
That was her passion.
Yes.
Lynn drove up from Charlotte and brought her husband, who's been so, I mean, he's going to deserve an award after he leaves here.
He
helps
has.
us set up and break down.
He's been great. And it was nice to meet your family
Yes.
and see how you live with a house full of girls. And
The house
I
was
cannot
so,
imagine.
Lynn has 4 sons and then a daughter. So it's
And-
fun to see the opposite.
So with Ruth's girls, I couldn't imagine living in a house full of girls. I have one girl, and she's my youngest, my baby, and she's married and has 2 children. And then there are triplet boys who are 39, and I have 7 grandchildren.
All right,
And
let's see.
we live within 10 minutes of each other.
Their whole family lives near each other.
So we do a lot of being together.
All right, here we go. We've got one more hydrangea. Let's make this one count. And then we're gonna have to put greenery, I think.
Yes.
I'm gonna let you handle that, and
Okay.
I'm gonna start stuffing greens.
You know what? Before I stick that down there, I'm going to stick.
Gosh, can you imagine when all those beautiful fall colors, just doing that with, what are those fall
with
flowers?
Mums and dahlias.
Dahlias,
and-
that's what I was thinking.
Yes. So we can grow dahlias in Charlotte, and we can grow dahlias in the mountains, and they're stunning.
They're stunning.
They're probably outside of a peony, that's probably the next favorite.
Oh,
for
can you
me.
imagine if you could do this with peonies? I mean, they wouldn't
Oh,
live long enough,
no.
but that would be sensational. All right, wow, we are
We're getting close.
getting close. And do you you have to go to a gardening store to find this kind of wreath?
Probably, or Amazon. I don't know that Walmart carries it, or maybe Target, but I doubt it.
No,
You probably
I've
need to
never
go
seen
to
anything like
a
that.
nursery or a plant store, somewhere. Now,
I bet Amazon does. I would just look up wreath with
Oasis.
oasis.
Yes.
Wow, we did this. This is no time. And then where would you put the?
Okay, so
Let's
then
look at
I would
this.
probably, yeah.
Now we probably should stick.
Oh, it's going to be so heavy. Hold
yeah.
on. The hydrangea just fell out.
Now on
With-
the top. do we
See,
need-
I would probably,
okay.
hold on, I would probably, let it go. I would probably take it and hook this at the top of your door or hang it over your door.
Yeah.
And then I would attach the bow right here.
Right there.
Yeah. So it all hangs down.
That's gorgeous. Even if you did, goodness,
Yeah.
some sort of velvet bow
Exactly.
or
Velvet bow
sheer.
or
I mean,
sheer,
it
it'd
could
be
be
gorgeous.
anything.
Yes. Something like that.
Oh, I love it. That didn't take any time at all. All right, you can do this. Don't let it intimidate you, because if anyone would be intimidated, it's me, because I am not a crafty person. But this took no time. I would get my daughters out here to do this. This was stunning. Thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much
That
for
was
teaching
fun.
me.
Thank you. This
All
was
right,
easy.
don't be afraid.
Thank
It's
you very
fantastic.
much.
It's easy. And we'll see you at the next episode. Have a great day.
Thank you.